What's going on, guys? It's Asthmatic here, and based on what's been going on with other videos and sort of what people are looking for, I'm noticing that there's a lot of people out there who want to hear about backwards compatibility. So I decided I'd go back and do a little bit more in-depth look at the Xbox One backwards compatibility, how it's going to work, when it's going to come out, and what kind of games you're going to get to play. So, start out, how does this even work? Because they told us when the Xbox One came out that 360 games would never be playable on it. And the short answer is emulation. Now, we've all heard of emulators. It's the kind of thing that lets you play like NES games on your PC or like Game Boy games on your Android smartphone. So essentially the programmers at Microsoft built an Xbox 360 emulator that runs on your Xbox One. Now, when you go to do emulation, there's three basic ways you can do it. The first way is you can translate all of the code in real time. You could translate blocks of code, like say like individual levels or game types. You could translate those blocks and then call them as needed on the system. Or the third option is to translate the entire game and then have it as a block, which pretty much says, okay, don't think of this as that kind of game anymore. Think of it as this game that it's now been fully emulated for. And when addressing this issue, Microsoft went with the third option. So the programmers made a program that essentially takes any 360 game, they dump in this 360 game, and it completely not rewrites it, but it writes it in such a way that it's playable on Xbox One totally flawlessly. Your Xbox One thinks it becomes an Xbox 360, and the games are great. I've used this a couple times because I'm a preview member. I'll get to that in one sec. It works great, and because that's how the system works, any 360 game, as long as they have permission, can be backwards compatible for Xbox One. All they got to do is dump it into this system. The only thing they need from developers or copyright holders in order to do that is their permission. So expect lots of their big first-party games that they're the ones who have the copyrights for. Expect all of those, and you know, I'd expect any of their major games from the 360, because now say no one owned a 360 and the Xbox One is their first Xbox console, but there's a 360 game that they really think, man, I wish I would have played that. If that's on the backwards compatible list, they just sold a game. So I believe they're going to get as many games on there as they possibly can for those guys, as well as the people who own a ton of digital games from 360 that want to play those again. So that's how they did the emulation. Any Xbox 360 game. Sorry, I'm going through my notes here. So yeah, when a game is allowed for backwards compatibility, you can play it either digitally or off of a disc. So any games on demand that you owned are just going to appear in your ready to download section under My Games and Apps. So go over there, download them, and play them straight away, and it just works. Or if you have any backwards compatible games on a disc, you just pop the disc in like any Xbox One disc and play away, and it works just fine. When is this coming out? So for preview members, this is available right now, but there's only there's a limited list of games. It is too many for me to list them all off right here, so I'm going to put the list in the description. But there's a relatively limited list of games available right now for preview members. But on November 12th, coming out with the new Xbox One experience, they're going to have over 100 games. They say they haven't released an official list, but they say over 100 titles will be available for Xbox One backwards compatibility on November 12th, alongside the release of the new Xbox One experience. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. This has been Asthmatic giving a more detailed look at Xbox One backwards compatibility. Have a good one. See you next time. Bye.